Good morning, everyone. It's Libby from Meister Tarot, and fabulous to have you back along with me today. Today I'm going to have a look at something I've been promising for a while but keep putting off because other world events keep popping up and taking priority, is the effect of the COVID lockdown in China. At the moment, Shanghai, which is their major trade and financial hub, it's also the biggest electronic and manufacturing area in China, population 25 million, which staggers me because that's the population of the entire of Australia, have been in lockdown for about 2 months. They've got around under 300 dead in that period of time, which as a foreigner that seems extremely low. Their cases were peaking at around 13,000 a day, now under 10,000 a day. Again, as a foreigner, that seems low. So I want to have a quick look at the mentality of those living in Shanghai, amongst other things. I have a colleague who has a friend that lives in Shanghai, Chinese citizen, higher educated in Australia with their doctorate at university. And has basically said as soon as this lockdown's over, he's packing his family up and getting out of China because he just is completely over this sort of reaction from the Chinese government. So I'll have a little touch on that as well. The major thing is, though, is that Shanghai is the largest, I understand, from what I've read, container port in China. It accounts for 20% of the trade in and out of China. There are other ports that can take some of the overflow but not all of it, and what it means is that the world as a whole is being affected. Japan gets about 20% of its products. Its imports come from China, the US 15%. India, there are apparently 70 major ingredients for their pharmaceutical industry, and India has a very large world-leading pharmaceutical industry come from China, and they're not getting supplies of those. Tesla has had to cease some of its manufacturing. I think it's about 2,000 cars per day that they're not manufacturing at the moment because they can't get the components for the cars, because Shanghai is also the biggest electronics and manufacturing sectors in Shanghai as well. So it's all very complicated. I was reading today on the delivery drivers. Apparently they have 20,000 delivery drivers working flat out trying to deliver to these 25 million people food and drugs and whatever else needs to be delivered. Apparently these delivery drivers are not allowed to go home. There is nowhere for them to go, and they are sleeping rough under bridges, in doorways, wherever they can find somewhere to sleep at night. And a lot of the what's considered essential manufacturing factories have set up so that the staff actually stay at the factory. They are not allowed home either. So it's all very... So let's have a look. The Chinese government's aiming for zero COVID, but I think in this day and age, in the interconnectivity of the world, I don't think that is viable. So we'll have a little bit of a look at the motives behind that. But first of all, I'll just have a look at the lockdown in Shanghai using my Golden Universal Tarot, which are my cards I use for money questions. And this is very much a moneyed question as well as a COVID question, but I think it's a bit more in regards to the economy that we'll be looking at. There have been protests and people have been dragged off. Apparently there are reports of people starving because they're just not getting deliveries and they're not allowed out of their homes. They're physically barricaded inside their homes. So I'll have a look at the government outcome from that as well. But just at the moment, just an overall. Tell me about the lockdown in Shanghai. The lockdown in Shanghai, please. The lockdown in Shanghai. If we get time, I'll look at the world economies. Travel a few key points around the world. But please, tell me about the lockdown in Shanghai. Lockdown in Shanghai. Okay. King of Wands. So powerful figure, inspired figure in some ways, but I think this is just more of an authoritarian figure with his rod of rule. So this is the lockdown itself, crossed by the Wheel of Fortune. So we've got, this is the Karma card, the Destiny card, the ending of a cycle and beginning of a new cycle. So this might bode well for Shanghai. Let's have a look. Foundation of the reading is this Eight of Swords, and in all honesty, this is the lockdown. So this is the government potentially having a change of heart. We'll see where this reading leads, but this is the lockdown itself. This is the restriction, basically being held hostage in their own homes, confinement, unable to move. In the past, we have the Knight of Cups. Now, usually this is the bringing of an offer. However, this is in the past. So this was the potential of what could happen. I think what this is telling us is that it was on the cards that this lockdown wasn't going to happen if people had it was on the offer that if they had restricted themselves, they wouldn't have been in lockdown, but that didn't happen. And to be honest, how do you restrict 25 million people? There's a lot of emotion here as well. A lot of emotion going into this. Page of Pentacles is crowning the reading. It is about bringing a message, but it is a very small message. So it is about the economy contracting. Giving and receiving help is the immediate future. This isn't just financial, this is health as well as wealth. So this is what the government's doing, is giving and receiving help. However, the external influence of this is the abuse of power, the sabotage, deceit, betrayal. That's the external influence, which will lead me on to the question about why the government is actually doing this. The internal influence is the Ace of Rods, which often means a new beginning, but I think in this sort of instance it's what some readers term as the Fred Flintstone card. It is literally just beating people over the head, beating them into submission, and this is the internal influence. Hopes and fears is it will end. There is an inevitable ending to it. This lockdown will end is the hope. The fear is that when is this ending going to happen? Outcome, Devil card. So there is this really toxic environment in Shanghai at the moment. People are feeling chained to this toxicity. As I said, there is starvation. There are people not getting the life-saving drugs that they require. And I think this card really ties in with what I'm going to ask about this card as well. Work going on behind the scenes. But again, we've got the lies. The lies, the stealing, the thievery, this is what I'm really getting here is this is the government. This is the government doing the work behind the scenes. They've got these people chained up. And they're not actually telling the whole truth. They're telling the lies as they sit in their gilded cage while the people suffer. Okay, that's Shanghai at the moment. If I sound a little bit flat, it's one of those subjects that, you know, one reads on and not quite sure what to make of it all, but I'm just seeing, so we've got this page of Pentacles, which is bringing this message of money, but it is only a page, message of money and health, but it is very much this devil doing this work, but it's the people are not being informed. They're being lied to by the government in this gilded cage, which is causing the downfall of the people, to be honest, the downfall of the Shanghai people. I don't think they're being informed, and they also don't agree, they don't understand. I'm actually going to swap decks, so I want to have a look. This is really more than what is just happening. I mean, we know what is just happening. I want to have a look at how this is making the people of Shanghai view the government. So what do the people of Shanghai think of this in regards to, how are the people of Shanghai themselves feeling in regards to the lockdown? How are the people of Shanghai feeling in regards to this lockdown? How are the people of Shanghai feeling in regards to this lockdown? In relation to their government, how is this reflecting on that one? Definitely tried to come out. The Emperor. My way or the highway is the government attitude. How is the patriarchal, my way or the highway, complete control, patriarchal? But how is the population of Shanghai feeling towards the government? How are the people of Shanghai feeling towards the government? I'm getting told that they are, as soon as this is over, the word that just sprung into mind was brain drain. It's a term that's been used for decades to mean that those that have the means and the ability and the intellect, etc., simply up and leave. They leave and take their knowledge, their skill and their monies with them. But tell me about the... Which means that the populace that have left behind, the average IQ is lower, the education is lower, the ability for that population to progress is lower. I'm seeing doctors, engineers, but they're inventive engineers. They're not just any old engineers. Oh, sorry, not saying that engineers are any old, but it is the inventive. And I've just got the strength card pop out in regards to that. It's saying, yeah, it's the inventors, the doctors, the professors, the academic class, the academic and peak manufacturing class. King of Wands has popped up again, but because it's a different question, I'm thinking this is representing those that I'm talking about. They are an inspiring. Okay, new beginning. Right. So what I'll do is I'll slip through. I'm thinking, yes, Meister. He's told me that King of Wands was supposed to be taken out. So I'm just nipping through and finding it again. I do apologise. King of Wands. Then I'll do another quick shuffle. Where is he, King of Wands? Oh, there he was, second from the top, of course, and I started at the bottom. So he's telling me that needed to come out as the signifier card, and then the Ace of Coins is coming out as the clarifier, as the second signifier, can be the challenge. Right, let's have a look. They're starting to throw out at me, so they're obviously where they need to be. So we've got this. These are the academics, the intellects, those that have the message, that have the ability. They're going to be seeking a new start, a new financial start, a new secure domestic start. At the moment, they are reviewing the situation that they're in at the moment. In the past, the Hanged Man, so they are seeing this. Now that this lockdown has been instigated, they have seen things from quite a significant point of view, and I think this is being reflected in what my colleague's friend has said, that they've had their eyes opened and they've just had, for an Aussie term, a gutful. Crowning the reading is the Queen of Swords, so she's all about bringing forward the truth, but she's also very strongly about the intellect and wisdom. So she's crowning this reading. So we've got the King of Wands and the Queen of Swords, and I see this as the innovators, the creators, the youth. And those not so youthful, but also then the intellects as well. Immediate future, they are moving. As soon as this is over, they're out of there. External influence this is for the future of their own families. This is for the future of what they can pass on. This is why they're doing it. The external influence is Justice, which is my card for actions and consequences. So this action by the Chinese government is going to have quite significant consequences. The hopes and fears, they are seeing what the hope is, that these two cups, and there is this path towards this future. The fear is the disappointment is the disappointment. Very much a disappointment card. Pack up their two cups and head off. Future outcome of these people. Well, fabulous outcome. At the moment, there's a lot of anxiety about how to go about this, and they are working to build a solid foundation to bring this about. They are going to be, and then we've got our Page of Coins, which is the think big and work hard, bringing forward the message of a new beginning. Knight of Coins, slow, steady, forward progress. So, base of the cup, walking away from what's no longer serving, walking towards a new future, manifesting possibilities, and then we have the offer being made here. This is often mean going back to the past, but it's also can mean a new emotional offering being brought forward in a naive way, but celebration. So I think that fairly much sums up what Meister was telling me, is that once this is over, once this feeling of betrayal is over, they're going to be out of there pretty quickly. It's going to be difficult, but they are going to move forward. There has been quite a lot of financial loss, but you've also got people out in the cold, people feeling abandoned. health being really implicated by this. As I said, 20,000 delivery drivers sleeping under bridges, but they're the ones that are bringing all the food and medicines to those that are locked up. And it is going to come very quickly because there's been too much heartbreak and loss in regards to this. So yeah, I do see those that even outside, and then we've got the tower, which is the breaking down of old structures in to be able to build a new. This has really made the world sit up and think and look at what at their reliance on China, but also those within China. There wasn't mass protests from the looks of it. I think what will happen is allergies, bit itchy, bit coffee, change of season. What I am getting is that there won't be mass protests, there won't be anti-government sentiment really being displayed. It's just that those that have the ability will simply up and go. Okay, let me have a look. What's this going to do into the economy of China itself? The economy of China. What is this lockdown in Shanghai? I notice Beijing is desperately trying not to lock down. I think they have maybe 100 cases, not even that. I didn't write it down. It was an insignificant amount of cases. Might have been 150 cases in Beijing. So they have locked down gymnasiums, restaurants, movie theatres, etc. But they're trying not to lock down the city such as Shanghai has done. But tell me about this Shanghai lockdown. What's it doing to the economy of China? The economy of China. What is this lockdown doing to the economy of China? Inflation worldwide. It's just another... There's so many factors that are leading to this inflation, but it is just another factor inserted into it. The economy of China is in retreat. Quite significant retreat. I'll keep shuffling. It's not that I turned the card over and I was told no, wrong card. So I'll just keep shuffling. The economy of China. The economy of China. Right, we'll try that again. Okay, so we've got, sorry, I'll bring you down. We've got this, the economy is in retreat. It was naive. There is this naivety about what they've done. We've got this three of pentacles, which often means a solid foundation. However, in this particular deck, it's more about the misuse of money. Often means money laundering or dark money, but I just think it's the misuse. This is, okay, right. I do tell them, occasionally Meister doesn't tell me the correct way of putting something until after the event. So we've had a bit of a discussion and he's got to tell me during the readings now. Or we've agreed for him to tell me during the readings and I've agreed to listen. This is about the misuse of... this is about the economy. It's not building a solid foundation. It's about the... Okay, let's have a look at a bit this. So you've got these two dudes on the side here that have commissioned whatever this is, this statue. And then you've got the actual worker working hard away at it. So what you've got is these are the elites who are not affected. They're not affected, but the average everyday person in China, in Shanghai, as far as the economy is concerned, is doing the heavy lifting and the hard work. So they are currently, Shanghai is in isolation. but there's also a lot of introspection going on in China at the moment, and they are reaping what they sow. Unhappy with the harvest is very much about this. Reviewing the harvest because it isn't as satisfactory as one would like. There's a lot of anxiety about this. There's a lot of infighting going on in regards to this, and to be honest, when you have scarcity, which is causing anxiety, yes, it is becomes survival of the fittest. It becomes the yin battling, as people are desperate for food and medicines and to feed their families. On the base of the pack, we have the harsh truth coming forward. We have the truth being revealed. A new start, as the crown is being pierced. But we also have the elite who... this card keeps coming up. What's this, the third time this card's come up? The elite, they're unaffected. They're quite happy to continue with these lies and deceits and betrayals. We've got those who are doing all the hard work, and then the devil. The contracts, the agreements, difficult decisions being made. And then we have the rebalancing of government at the beginning of, as one cycle ends and another starts. Success brought about by authentic reform, and then we have actions and consequences. So what I'm seeing now is the economy at the moment is in retreat. The ones that are doing all the heavy lifting, the hard work, are the workers themselves, not getting recompensed properly for the work that they're doing. The government, they've taken this naive attitude. There is this naivety that the economy will just chug along, but on review, they are reaping what they sowed, and the harvest is not as plentiful as they would like, which is going to lead to a lot of anxiety and infighting. There is a harsh truth that's going to be revealed as the truth of this all comes forward about the deception by the elite decision makers that has led to this toxic lockdown. This is just my lockdown card, this lockdown that is causing the economy behind the scenes into a difficult position. That's what I'm being told. There are actions and consequences of this, and victory will only come through authentic reform and the ending of this. Once this lockdown has ended, things will rebalance in regards to the system. So that's the economy in China at the moment. It is in retreat. It will come good again when the lockdowns are opened up. But I'll have a look at the economies elsewhere because, okay. The question I want to ask next, I might look at the economies worldwide in a different reading because we're up to 28 minutes already, but the question I want to ask is, will this action how do I put this? Will the rest of the world reduce their reliance on China? I think is the question I want to ask. Will this action encourage the rest of the world to reduce their reliance on China? I think I've read on this before, months and months and months ago, and I did see this coming then. have another look. Will this action, China's going to have to really work hard to defend itself, defend this action that it's taken. At the moment, there's a lot of turmoil going on in the world, and with Ukraine, with COVID, with the ending of fossil fuels, with all sorts of things. So governments aren't really concentrating on this at the moment, but okay, industry is. Industry is. So is industry going to pull out of China so it won't have, okay. I'm getting a yes, and it's going to take those innovators with them, is what I'm getting. Okay, I didn't see that coming. Thank you, Master. But we'll clarify with some cards. Is industry going to reduce its reliance on Chinese manufacturing and supply? Are worldwide industries going to reduce their supply on Chinese manufacturing and supply? Not putting a time limit on this, I'll just, it's the world, whoops. Yeah, disappointment with what's been happening, great disappointment with what has been happening, what's on offer. I'll keep going. Come on down. So, it's very much, it's not even just emotion-led, but yes, there is a lot of emotion involved in this. China can still supply, but the rest of the world is disappointed in what is actually being offered. Page of Cups. There is something that is going to be brought forward, something new that is going to be revealed in regards to this. Going to cause, the truth of this matter is causing a lot of heartbreak and distress in the past. The abuse of power. So the power that China had by being the manufacturer of the world is being felt by industries around the world as if it has been an abuse of power. And the Star of Hope, which is all about restoration and recovery. So it is the balancing of the land and the earth, the land and the water. It is about a rebalancing. Near future is the Knight of Cups, so he's bringing forward, he's moving forward, and I can see he's moving forward towards these. This is the immediate future. Knight of Cups, he is bringing forward an offer that's going to be made. The Page of Wands, 2 pages now. Again, there's an important message that's going, this is the internal influence of manufacturing. They are learning an important message from this, and the external influence is about coming together in unity, bringing diversity together under the one banner. So that's what they're now deciding to do, is to not be so reliant on bringing components in. They're going to bring it back under the one banner. The Hope and Fear is on the world stage. It is a culmination, but it is also unity of diversity. This is all about commerce and industry on the world stage. Actions and consequences, yes, very much so. It's what they're learning. This murky underbelly has been revealed. There are things that are going to be revealed about the current method of doing business. And the King of Coins. So he's all about mentoring in business, wealth creation, health creation, but very much wealth creation, and very much about creating a domestic security, a financial security on a domestic level when I'm talking about the world stage. And it is because of this disappointment that has happened. And we're looking at a new start, a new way of doing business. There are new systems that are going to come into play that industry is walking towards. They've realised that this system of making components all over the world, as soon as the supply chain is disrupted, it does not work. And you could have 99% of whatever your final product is ready to go, but without that final 1% that may be manufactured in a country that is now being disputed, you can't finish your product, which means you can't sell your product, which means you can't get out in the marketplace. And I think what's happened is that businesses are now realising that this system does not work, and they are going to move towards something that works for them. They are seeing it from a different point of view and are going to build themselves a solid foundation. So that's what I'm seeing in the future of the world economy, is that they're going to be moving away from that reliance on China. I don't know about reliance on India, didn't look at it today, but I think I was very strongly told that industries, now there's no time limit on this, they will do it at the pace that they can, will be bringing a lot more under the one banner in-house, and they will take those creators, the innovators, the brains of these methods, they will be taking them with them. Okay, interesting, not exactly quite what I thought it would all turn out to be, but let us see what happens. If you've got any comments, I do love your feedback. Please put them in the comment below. What I might do is I might also just now nip off the inflation, recession, etc. for the rest of the world, and then I'll post that up tomorrow. Okay, take care, look after yourselves, love you all. Bye-bye.